When dysfunctional seems normal. Welcome. Living with dystopia. When a person becomes an adult and leaves the nest to start one of their own, they leave with a certain understanding of how a family is. For the sake of the argument, we'll call this the family model. What this model does is, sets a certain baseline for the person of the idea of how a family should be. Later on, when the person meets someone and decides to build a family with them, they use their family model as a starting point. Which is not bad, if that model is a working one. Sometimes broken things seem normal to people, because they never had a non-broken version of it. This is where we circle back to perception and psychology behind it. The usual routine behind starting the family is to take the two family models, aka the two people, and throw them into the same space to see what happens. What happens is, each person lives as they are used to. Best case, those two models are compatible enough to live together, without much trouble. Worst case, sparks fly on a daily basis, and not in a fun way. What should be happening is talking. Building a new family shouldn't just mean having kids. What it should mean is to talk about what kind of a family the two people would like to have, and how they will achieve that together. That, ideally, should be the starting point. Too utopian for you? Maybe. But it's nice to dream. Speaking of utopian, let's take a look at the other side of it. Dystopian. How does dysfunctional happen? When perception is warped and is presented as normal. Here are a few examples, see if any of them sound familiar to you. Arguing is called discussion. Ignoring is called compromising. Disrespect is called love. So, neglecting partners' needs, ignoring their wishes, and not listening to them in general is a form of love and affection? Probably not. How about suffering from certain behavior patterns and having it written off as accepting differences? Or shouting matches to prove a point, where one side always has to be wrong and calling it communication? However, the sad reality is that some people do believe all that to be fine and acceptable in a family setting or a romantic relationship. Why? Because they are used to it. They have lived most of their lives this way, or were witnesses to it, so they think of it as normal. They just don't know any better. Some of them. Not all. Others do reconsider whether or not certain things are okay or should be okay. Those people usually are in possession of a strong mindset. It all starts with asking the right questions. Now, with the unfortunate weak mindsets, those people usually, wholeheartedly, believe these dysfunctional models to be fine. Because they are under this impression, they are not able to act differently. More or less, they repeat the same bad behaviors that they have learned from their previous family model, and carry on with it later in their lives. It's kinda like another form of force of habit. As a result of this way of thinking, emotional storms happen. They draw relationships and people into a never-ending emotional turmoil, filled with nothing but negative emotions, which can last for days. What's worse is that once the storm settles, nothing really changes. It's just a calm before the next storm hits. But what people believe is that everything is fine now and continue living as if nothing happened because they are past it. In reality, it's more than that. It's an emotionally destructive pattern, with the problems getting blown away for some time and coming back later in the form of a twister that was picking up more problems along the way. It's like comparing a broken car with a broken bicycle. We have a big broken thing and a small broken thing. When comparing the two in terms of which is better to have, the broken bicycle does look better. But at the end of the day, both things are the same, broken. Just because it's not as bad as it used to be, it doesn't mean it's working properly still. You have reached the end of this post. Thanks for listening, stay tuned for more, and always remember, mental health is important too. Take care.